It's time for tea. No! Hello, Sega!
I'm a minute!
I have your tea.
No!
We discussed this yesterday. You don't get coffee. Do you want your tea?
I hate being sick, man.
I know, but it's time for you to do your tier list.
Can I just like sleep for like 5 more minutes, dude?
No, you work every day, all day. I want my tier list.
Fine. No coffee! You can't stop me! Okay, so disclaimer for this tier list, please watch, if you don't know how any of these tiers work, please watch the intro part segment of this video. It goes with definitions for what each of the categories are so you can understand exactly what to like look out for. Make sure that you're watching that so you understand exactly what each of the categories mean and so you don't get freaked out over any things. We also go back and do old ratings and talk about other units that used to be rated in different patches of the game. So if you want to check those out, link to the older tier list in the description below. I changed the definitions this time around to help people out understand what each category is a little bit different. So support DPS are characters that are going to be most likely just off-field boosters. So for example, a character like Bennett is a character that can tee up a lot of elemental reactions and a lot of damage by using his ultimate really quickly and then switching off of him in order to boost the rest of your team. That's what an off-field booster is. Typically that's what a support character is. Now, a reactive DPS is the other thing we changed to be an on-field nuker, somebody who actually just comes onto the field and does mad lad damage. For example, if you then put a pyro element on somebody and then switch over to Shinshu, you can then get a huge E proc on someone, get a massive hit on someone. And that's what a reactive DPS character can do. Very similar to how you can get big nukes on pyro characters or hydro characters. Those are reactive DPS characters. A lot of people get confused about defensibility and healing characters. Now, these are not all healers. These can be characters that provide shields, taunts, etc. So make sure that when we talk about defensive characters in the defensive category, don't get these confused with other things. And main DPS characters are just characters that rely on normal and charge attacks, and they're rated as such. If they rely on normal and charge attacks, do very, very well. This is going to be what they're rated on, specifically for using their normal charge attacks in combination with their elemental skills and elemental burst. A lot of people throw around the term sub DPS characters. Sub DPS characters, as a definition, so you guys are, if you are newer to Genshin Impact, are characters that are a combination of either support character DPS and reactive DPS so that you can boost your overall damage in different ways. That's what a sub DPS is. It's just another character that you use in your rotation, use elemental skills and elemental burst, regardless of how they boost for supports or they boost it for actual nuke damage. It's a combination of both of those. So I'll just add to that category so you know what it is. So you guys know how we do the rating schema here. If you've never been here for one of the tier lists here, what we do is we do a community vote. The entire chat will vote on each rating, and what they do is they say, hey, this is where each character falls in as far as each subcategory goes, and that's how they get their votes in across the board. By doing this, we get a good amount of feedback in, and people are able to then, to figure out exactly where they want to place each character based on each category. We also go over each of the units and go over specifically what they do, what their positives are and negatives are in different tiers. And we don't use any other tier list like the one on this website, of course, to influence our decisions. We just give information out and people vote based on their thoughts and feelings. Alrighty, boys and girls. So the first thing we're gonna go over today is gonna be the old ratings and what's being changed so far. So this is the current Pyro list of all the characters right now. And the only thing that got changed for Pyro characters, for old Pyro characters, was Zhangling used to be in the B tier and actually got moved up to the A tier by community vote. A lot of people thought that she deserved a little bit more credence because of the new Hu Tao release and how she can use for her elemental reactions, how she can be well growth Dragon's Bane, Shinku with a mix, etc. And just the overall combinations that you can use where people felt that she deserve to move up in the tier list because of that fact. For cryo characters, there has been some bigger changes as well. Qiqi has actually moved down in 2 big categories. The first, of course, is to be support DPS. Qiqi moved all the way down from S tier support DPS to C tier. She actually was in the S tier for support DPS because at the start of the game, using her little orb thing to put on cryo element every so often for the first like 2-3 months of the game was a very, very helpful thing. But as time has gone on, we have been able to expand to different supports and people have been able to do different things. So of course, people's thoughts and feelings on Qiqi have changed, and now she is all the way in the dog shit tier for support DPS. For defensibility and healing, of course, we did a revote on this as well, and she stayed in the S tier. People find that she's a great healer and still remains to stay here. And for the main DPS role, they actually took a community vote again, and she moved from the B tier down to the C tier. So she got shit on. So the community love for Qiqi has actually dwindled, and she has become probably one of the lowest rated 5 stars in the entire game. But it's actually higher rated overall than another 5-star, which is really fun. Next up, we got Diona, and she actually moved up from the B tier in support DPS up to the A tier, and people have decided that she's a little bit better because of her ability to give elemental mastery on Constellation 6 and the ability to provide some elemental reactions with the way she works. She also moved up from the A tier to the S tier for defensibility and healing because of the way she can actually cleanse and the more utilization of cleanse in the most recent abyss for floor 11. If you don't know, there's an electro mechanic that gets propped on yourself, and because you have that electro particle on your head, what happens is that you lose energy while you have that electro element on yourself. However, if you cleanse it off with, say, Diona's shield, you can actually remove that and of course not lose energy because of that debuff. So that's one of the reasons she's moved up to the S tier, because she's one of the few healers in the game that can cleanse. In the electro category, there has been some massive sweeping changes, and people are mad at certain characters. These are not my ratings, by the way. These are everyone else's ratings. By the way, here's the vote for Keqing being dethroned to A tier. It wasn't me, it was chat. But I think she's B tier. Keqing has actually moved down from the S tier as main DPS all the way down to the A tier. And again, not my vote. I played Keqing since launch, and she's really good at the start of the game, and as time goes on, she definitely is not as good as other characters. With the Jade Cutter, she definitely got a bump, but if we're comparing her to other characters, the amount of people that can use the Jade Cutter is like this many people. So most players are like, yeah, she's trash, I don't like her, she's okay, I guess, but I'd rather have this character, this character, this character, this character. There's too many other characters out there that people would prefer, so that's why she got moved down. Fischl at the start of the game was also really good, but of course people have like kind of moved away from the single target DPS that Fischl does. Even though she can provide almost the exact same amount of damage as Keqing and Razor and all that, people have moved away from that because single target damage mentality is not very good, and physical DPS in general has kind of fallen off as part of a meta composition. However, Big Daddy Razor has stayed in the S tier, and yes, we did a revote. Okay, right now, at this very second, we're doing a revote for Razor main DPS versus Keqing. And this is the actual vote. Get wrecked, Keqing mains. The community has spoken, and they like Razor better than Keqing. If you have an opinion on that, let me know in the comment section down below. And because we did this Razor revote and talked about Razor, a lot of people said that Keqing is actually worse than Razor because of the stamina requirements, etc. And that I thought was a very, very interesting thing in general. So that was kind of cool. For Geo characters, the only thing that really got changed was Zhongli. He got moved from the B tier as a main DPS all the way up to the A tier as a main DPS. A lot of people felt like because of the changes of Zhongli, he deserved to move up a little bit. I definitely saw some power increases when I was using Zhongli as a main DPS, and I use him all the time on my main account, and people have seen that, and they're like, you know what, he is actually worthwhile as a main DPS and does provide good damage. But you know, there are better characters out there, obviously, but he definitely deserves to be on that level. The community votes for Xiao were really interesting. For support DPS, everyone voted him C tier. The amount of people that do not like Xiao as a support is actually very fucking mad, lad. It was insane. What's really funny is that the only two other characters in the game are Amber and Qiqi that got rated in this tier. No one else got rated as support. People hate Xiao on the support level. It's fucking pretty big. The other character that got low rated here was he got low rated in defensibility and healing. I was surprised about this as well. He can jump over other people's abilities, but people are like, nah, he trash. He kills himself. I don't like that. And I was really surprised as well. We were going over it methodically and talked about it, but there was a lot of people that did not like this. And they said, no, I don't like that Seka. He kills himself. That's bad. All right. For main DPS though, the rating that they gave him was S tier. They gave him mad lad damage S tier. So that was cool. I like that. That was nice. I mean, he does great plunge attacks, great mad lad damage. Insane. Actually a great unit. Okay. Reactive DPS, you know, as a big burster, you know, to just do some damage, some quick burst in there. His triple E ability or his double E ability, they gave him some pretty good ratings here. He was actually he does really well. I think that as a character that comes on field and does some quick nuke and comes off field, he does pretty well. He does like 40,000 damage like with just 2 E's and then just dips out. I think that's a really valuable nuker. Just to switch in, do 2 E's, switch off. I mean, if we don't even need that often, that's kind of nice. Plus, it'll swirl the reaction, so that's good. And like his elemental, the nice thing about his elemental skill is that it actually has a very, very low animation time. So doing the nuke is very quick. So I like that a lot. And then for exploration, they rated him S tier because, of course, his map exploration ability is top tier. Getting around the map with him is super nice. You don't take any damage when you take fall damage, when you plunges. It's awesome. Climbing is easier, everything. So definitely S tier for exploration. But man, I have never seen a 5-star character get shit on this hard on release. That is, whew, people do not like Xiao in certain areas of the game. They really don't like it. Next up, we got Hu Tao. And Hu Tao as a support is a character that can actually provide you 12% critical chance to your entire team whenever you switch off a character. Chat and everybody else rated this as an A tier ability, and the ability, even with the constellation for an extra 12%, still an A tier ability because the amount of people you get that constellation for is going to be really low. But as a character for support, I thought she was an S tier support because 12% crit chance is nothing to snoot at. I mean, that's basically 4 artifact rolls that you're getting for free on whatever character in your team for whenever you want. And there's very few other crit chance abilities in the game, so I found that was a really, really positive support ability, but chat thought otherwise, and that's what they put her at, so I thought a little bit better, but that's what it is. For defense ability, they gave her a B rating. The reason they gave her a B rating is even though she can heal, she always teetering between your 50% HP and below 50% HP. Even if you get about 35,000 total maximum HP on Hu Tao, at half HP, which is where most people are going to be at most of the time on Hu Tao, at 17,500 HP. So the amount of HP that you have is actually somewhere between 10,000 and 17,500 most of the time, making her a very squishy character. In general, I don't really like that part of Hu Tao personally, and I think that's one of the big missteps that she has as a character, because you do have to use another tanky character to shore her up. Even though she does heal herself, that is kind of an issue that she does have. For main DPS though, people of course rated her in the S tier because she is a solid character to use as a main DPS. There's very few other good characters that are better than her in the game. She's definitely up there with the best characters in the game. She's also the highest damage nuker in the game right at the current moment. I think the highest people have hit on her is like 1.8 million or something like that on max damage, which of course is going to be the maximum possible damage you can really see on any character. So of course they have rated her exceptionally high in this category, and that's why she is so strong. And finally, for exploration, she got a B. Because if you've never played Hu Tao, running with Hu Tao is like the most annoying thing in the game. She runs slower than Qiqi, I feel like. Oh my god. At least Qiqi provides some positives when exploring. But doing dailies and stuff like that on Hu Tao, I'm just like, wow. Co-op with her is terrible. There's a bunch of problems that she has. Exploration with Hu Tao is dog shit. But everything else is great. I love her. She's one of my favorite units to play right now, and she's awesome. All right, so for these ratings, these are all, of course, community driven. Every rating we've gotten, of course, is completely done by vote. So if you want to be here when next time we're doing some of the voting for the 1.3 tier list, we're going to do the 1.4 tier list that's going to go over old characters and old ratings in there near the end of 1.4 after the next character, the final character has been released. So we'll be able to talk about those things in 1.4. If there are any major changes, we'll do it, but we're not going to be able to do another tier list for another month and a half or so. So if you guys want to have input on the next tier list, again, this is entirely community driven. So let me know what you would like to think in the comment section down below on each of the ratings for the characters. All right, guys. Well, my name is Sekapoko. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys have some input on the tier list. If you guys have input as well as ratings for the characters that you would like to provide, of course, we do these live on twitch.tv/Sekapoko, so join us there. I didn't have time to put out a thing because I got sick this last week for getting people out for YouTube and stuff, so I apologize. I'll put out for the next one. I'll make sure to let you guys know on YouTube that we'll be doing this so you guys can get your input in, of course, and I will let you know we're doing streaming live on Twitch next time we do it for tier list ratings, so you guys can have more input. But thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of the day. Like, subscribe, all the fun stuff. Have a good day. Bye.